According to my research, only one true freshman has ever been a Heisman finalist.
Okay, who?
Adrian Peterson, 2004.
Boomer Sooner, baby.
Got some true freshmen poised to make big impacts in college football this season, according to our Chris Hummer. Bryce Underwood on top of the list, the quarterback at Michigan. We've got Hummer with us. We also have Mr. Chip Patterson. We'll start with the Michigan quarterback. I do want to know, Chris, that what should we really expect of Bryce Underwood, because he's taking over a passing attack that was the worst in major college football last season?
Well, first, you should expect him to start. I mean, that's the first goal and step for him. Sharon Moore did not name him the starter at Big Ten Media Days, but I think the expectation around Michigan, talking to sources, is he's going to be the guy. There are a variety of reasons for that. Some of the people that would be competing with him are hurt right now. You're also paying him over $2 million a year. And I think in this era of college football, if you're wondering who's going to be atop the depth chart, you should follow the money, because that's how it goes. But the expectations are really, really large for him this year. Michigan's going to be doing some reworking on offense. As you mentioned, they had one of the worst passing attacks in college football a season ago. And if Bryce Underwood can just make Michigan's passing offense average, just like average, the floor is like 75th nationally, it's probably worth a win or two for them this year. And he is talented enough to do that in year one. People around that program rave about him. They rave about his maturity. They rave about the way he's approached things in college since arriving in January. And I think expectations for him are sky high. I would expect a Dylan Raiola-like season like we saw last year for Nebraska. I think that's kind of the area I would set him for if he started from week one.
Because I am not invested in the success of Michigan football, I can say that I'm extremely excited to see what happens when we hold his feet to the fire, which happens, when's that? Oh, week 2 at Oklahoma. What's that? Oh, week 4 at Nebraska on CBS. I mean, we were talking about two of the hallowed halls of college football in terms of being real tests to see whether Bryce Underwood is the real deal. Because look, in terms of a reaction, in terms of the way Michigan fans feel, forget the facts, the feeling, if he is amazing, then he is the savior of Michigan football, and he is going to be the best thing ever and win multiple national championships. But if this true freshman is not able to handle or be as successful in those tough road environments right out of the gate of your true freshman season, now you're going to start to wonder, should we go to Mikey Keene? What is Jaden Davis doing right now? So this is a very lightning rod type situation where I feel like Bryce Underwood, with all of his talent in the world, can give us one of those take Michigan right back to the Big Ten championship contention, that kind of conversation. But those are really, really tough road trips early in the season. Very important, win or lose, how Sharon Moore handles his very, very talented, and as Chris mentioned, expensive young quarterback.
You do get Ohio State.
I think Michigan fans watched. I'm sorry. I was just saying, I think Michigan fans watched Alex Orji and Davis Warren all year last year. They're going to be very happy for Bryce Underwood, no matter what he does on the road at Oklahoma and Nebraska.
Well, Should
I pop in here too?
If you want, sure.
I love the way Chip called Oklahoma hallowed hall of college football. Yeah. I would just like that to be known. I just want to be a part of the convo.
How many hallowed halls are there? Probably 25.
Not Iowa.
Yeah, 25.
They do go to SECU Stadium in their last road game of the year. That's SECU Stadium at Maryland to face Malik Washington and company, or so we think. Washington is a true freshman quarterback for the Terps. Mike Locksley entering his 7th year. And Chris, he admittedly lost the locker room last season. How much is his future tied to Malik Washington?
I think they're tied at the hip in a lot of ways. Like, Mike Locksley's job is not necessarily in danger, and I'm not trying to say that right now. But I think we do a hot seat list every year at CBS Sports. He's a 3 out of 5, in my opinion, in terms of this. He has to get something working soon. And Malik Washington, a top 50 prospect, a home state kid, is exactly the type of person who can reinvigorate your program if you hit on him. And I think the early word out of Maryland is they did hit on him. He's in a battle with UCLA transfer Justin Martin to start, but Justin Martin, who's going into his 4th year, has only thrown, I think, 36 career passes, so it's not like he has an experience advantage to that degree over Malik Washington. And this is somebody, I had somebody watch Maryland spring practice this year that walked away from it wowed by Malik Washington and what he did. And then Malik Washington went out during the spring game and went 12 for 18 with 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, this is somebody who can not only take over for Billy Edwards, it's somebody that can reignite the fan base in a way we haven't seen in a couple of years from Mike Locksley. So his progress and his development this year is critical for Maryland's future.
Yeah, we really needed to unplug the router and plug it back in on Maryland football. I mean, this is a team that lost 7 of its last 8 games of the season, all of those losses by double digits. So I love that we're getting fresh blood in here at the quarterback position. Don't forget, Mike Locksley also switched over offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and that's where Malik Washington's future, you've got to think, is in pretty good hands with Pep Hamilton coming in as the new offensive coordinator. So yes, I am bullish on Washington, and there just has to be a return to form for a program that was regularly getting to bowl games, then all of a sudden goes 4-8 with that terrible bottom falling out kind of scenario. That's where I trust Mike Locksley. I don't think that was an excuse about losing his locker room. I think it was an explanation, and the way that they've just gotten in all new turnover across the board, on the field, on the sideline, I think the Terps and Washington will be better off for it.
And favorable schedule too. You avoid Penn State, you avoid Ohio State, and you also avoid Oregon. That's where we're going next, to Eugene, for our first wide receiver here, Chris. Last year we saw it with a couple of the true freshmen, and Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams. Can Dakorien Moore have that kind of impact this season for the Ducks?
He absolutely can, and Oregon might need him to. There was a very notable injury in college football this offseason when Evan Stewart had a lower body injury that's likely going to cost him the season, and Oregon doesn't have a lot of proven production at wide receiver behind him, and Dakorien Moore is exactly the type of guy who can solve those issues for you. He's somebody I've seen play a lot. He's from Texas. He's at a high school power at Duncanville, and he had almost 3,000 yards his last 2 seasons of high school, playing against the absolute best competition in America. He pairs 10-4 speed with a really significant amount of shiftiness and explosiveness in the open field. Talking to coaches around the country, he was far and away the best receiver prospect in the 2025 class, and Oregon's going to count on him this year. I mean, he got the first 2 targets of the spring game for Oregon, which tells you what they think of him. And I expect him to start this year for Oregon. I expect him to play a really big role in the offense.
Yeah, Dan Lanning, stopping by the Cover 3 podcast last week at Big Ten Media Days, had a great sort of explanation for what they got in Dakorien Moore. He said it's somebody who handles his business. He wants to be coached. He's a, quote, learner. And then all of a sudden, Lanning said he does something that says, wait a second, how's that even possible? So what I hear from Lanning is that this guy's got like a 3-star mentality, a hard-working lunch pail type way to work with a superhuman type ceiling. I think that is somebody that's really, really special. Oregon loves what they've got in them. And as Chris mentioned, they are going to need it after the injury to Evan Stewart.
All right, Chip Patterson, Chris Hummer with us here on some true freshmen that are going to make big impacts this season in college football. As we ramp up to the season, so is the Cover 3 podcast, the very latest episode, Big 12 win totals. Arizona State winning it last season, picked last. They are one of the favorites to win it this season.